Hello everyone, this is Ketchup here, and this video is going to cover a special move with Rain that a lot of people have actually asked me to go over, because a lot of people find it quite uncomfortable to use, and it's not like previous games, and I think a lot of people are struggling to figure it out. I've been grinding it quite extensively, because it is my favourite Rain attack, the Lightning Bolt, or as I like to call it, the Shocking Bolt, thanks to Armageddon. I guess I'm just a sucker for the 3D games, but what this move does is that it's a 2-slot custom ability. And on hit, regular hit, kind of just strikes them, and it's plus on hit, so you can go in and press buttons. You can't combo off it. He's set to auto block, and as you can see, he blocks straight away. However, it does create a situation that they do have to hold, so you can just delay and do grab, or you can do back two, whatever the hell you want to do. And then on amplify, it launches. So you get a full combo from the amplified version. You can do multiple ranges. We can do the close, we can do the medium, we can do the far, and we can do very far. I've got my input turned on the left-hand side, just in case being able to see what moves I'm doing is going to help anybody. So you can check that out if you want. Now, why are people struggling with this move? It does not function like Rain's Lightning has ever functioned before. We're kind of used to seeing the Lightning just be like a combo tool, where it comes out really fast and it launches on meterlessly, and we can just go in and mix it into our combos and whatever the case may be. It just doesn't function that way in MK11, and I think some people are understandably having a hard time figuring it out, because it is totally different to what we've seen before, myself included. But like I said, I've been grinding it a lot in matches, and I'm going to be honest, having quite a lot of success with it because of just what I've kind of developed to really kind of maximize the bolt as much as possible. Now, the first thing I want to cover is a technique that I suggest everyone using the bolt practices, which is the art of getting the lightning bolt out as fast as possible. I have frame data turned on the bottom left of my screen for a very good reason, because check out the plus frames. When the bolt connects, it's plus 52 on block. Pretty plus, isn't it? Now, if I do amp, even more so, plus 67 on block. Now, what that means is you can use it in pressure, which I'll cover later. However, the first technique I want to really cover is this idea of getting the lightning out back to back as fast as possible in certain situations, because they are stuck in so much plus frames that your ability to get out a second lightning and create this weird obstacle that they can't jump and they can get caught by, and whatever the case might be, they have to kind of respect it up next. This isn't every character, and this certainly won't be at every range, but it's a technique that I have kind of got a lot of success with, and I suggest everyone learns. Now, what it is, essentially, is getting the lightning out as fast as we can. So, what's going on is that the lightning is a set time. You can't delay it, you can't hold it, you can't do anything like that. So what you do with the lightning is that you essentially get used to the timing of the detonation. We can summon another lightning the frame the lightning actually finishes. The moment it connects, we can summon another one. So what we're doing is you're just getting used to the timing, right? Look at this lightning. From button press to lightning strike, you're kind of memorizing the timing of when it comes out. So in this situation, right as the lightning strikes, that 2 button has already been pressed. So what you do is you do down back right before it detonates, and when the lightning detonates, that 2 button gets pressed for you to summon another one, And you can amplify it. My point is that it looks kind of slow, right? But remember, it is extremely plus. It is really plus on block. So when that lightning strike comes out on block, there's not a huge amount they can do about the second one. Additionally, if you think they're going to try and go in, that's where you have the room to create a closer one, right? So if we're at this jump distance, and let's say it comes out, and I know it's going to get blocked, I've already buffered the next one, and it's close. That's a very large trap to set. Because when that comes out on block, we do the close one, it kind of baits them to go in. If they jump, or whatever, you can anti-air. If they jump into it, you can get a combo. It doesn't look like much, but I promise you, being able to get the lightning out as fast as possible and really getting a mental timing of when it comes out is really important, actually. And it can create those very awkward situations and really reduces the frames the opponent can work with. I do suggest you practice this with every range, because although the timing is the same, doing it at different ranges, because it's like, as weird as it sounds, because it's far away, because it comes out far away, sometimes that can kind of mess up with your mental timing, because there's less distance or whatever. Muscle memory is different for everyone. But that's the first technique. Now, the next piece of tech, it's really applications. How do we apply this? The first thing I'm going to say is do not use it on block. Use this on block, it's fake. It is not real. They will interrupt you, and you'll get punished. And the thing about the lightning is that If the lightning comes out and you get hit before it is summoned, before the lightning comes out, the lightning will vanish. If you block, the lightning will stay. So if I set the opponent, let's do get up mode on, let's set him to heavy gust, and we'll go in the corner just to demonstrate this. If I do it late, oh yeah, I've got to set him to auto block. If I have him block late, the wake up attack will hit me, and as you can see, no lightning. If I have enough time to work with now, I can block, and then the lightning still comes out. My whole point is that if you get hit, the lightning is gone. So do not, I thoroughly suggest, do not use this move on block, because it's fake. They'll see it, they'll punish you, the lightning will go, and you've just given them damage for free. So don't do it. But using this knowledge, using it on knockdown is the most obvious setup, I think. Now, there are a couple of tricks to that. The whole thing about using it on wake up is that if you're doing, this kind of setup into lightning, it's certainly not bad, and you've got time to work with, which is nice. It's just mid-screen. You can establish certain things mid-screen, which is certainly not bad. If I set him to, let's turn off his get-up mode, and he's still on auto block. Let's just go for another combo here. Go for a lightning strike. In this variation, I like to pair it with the tidal wave, which you amp, it becomes -8. That's just a very basic example, and that's 2 bars, because I used the first bar on the super kick. But my whole point is that the first application is just using it after combos, right? You're using it after combos in certain situations. Right now, I don't think it's going to be as used mid-screen off specific B&Bs, mostly because of the distance. If you go for like a jump kick, right, and you do, let's say I go for a range jump kick, and I create a lightning. You're at a decent range here. So, doing like a jump kick into a 1-3 lightning, you're actually at a good range, and, Rain's movement in general is really good for closing in that space. So if I get like a knockdown into a 1-3 lightning, this is very obvious. This is a very obvious kind of application of it. But if you expect to do it on wake up and they try and come in, I've kind of created a bit of a trap scenario where it's in front of them, they come in, they get hit. So it really is very focused on how the opponent does it. But this is that kind of layer 1 application that I think a lot of people would have tried, is that. This idea of just using it on knockdown. But importantly, the absolute thing to remember is using it earlier in combos, I think, is more likely. If you use it late, the opponent lands much faster, and they'll probably be able to get out. They might even be able to punish you. It entirely depends. If I do a combo here, like that's a normal B&B, right? But if I do those extended combos, it depends on what variation you take, but yeah, I'm not very good at this double super kick. I don't really use the double super kick at the moment because it's not really worth it for damage, but as you can see, he lands. If he wake up attacked there, I'd probably get punished because there's so many hits in that combo. So using it mid-screen, I mean, yeah, you ultimately you're setting up for a little bit of damage, and, you're going in to try and establish something else. The plus frames of the lightning means that you can slightly delay and do a back 2 or, whatever other mid you want to go for, but back 2 ones are really nice mid to confirm with, because back 2 on hit, you can confirm into whatever you want. And Rain has plenty of launches, so that's definitely not a problem. But now I want to go into, I think, the kind of next layer of the application and what I think your main use for it is often going to be. And that is when the opponent has a breaker. Now, let's set the opponent to breakaway. Fast breakaway. So he's going to break away as fast as he can. The first piece of tech, and this is not related to lightning, is I've seen a fair few Rain players share this now, that if you do a super kick into an early 3 and a Argus plunge, sorry, trying to remember the name of the charge, but charge, back forward 3, do an early standing 3 into that, and they actually can't break it. So if I do, let's just do 2-4-2 into this, boom, boom, you have time to see it confirm. Obviously, the armor break allows us to crushing blow, and that's kind of the first layer, right? So if the opponent is going to break and you read it, if you have the meter, you can just break it like this, and, you get a big chunky armor break, so it's not bad. But that's not actually what I'm going to cover. I'm going to cover what happens when you do a super kick, right? You fight a lot of opponents and you do a launch. In this case, I will just cover the super kick because the breakaway timing is quite consistent on this, as you can see, which is really helpful if we have the shocking bolt, which is why right now I actually don't suggest you take the hydro boost and the lightning, because the super kick allows you to get this specific scenario. Drop the combo because ketchup sucks. drop the combo because Ketchup sucks. There you go. So what happens here, opponent breaks. Often an opponent, when they break, will use a delayed wake up because they're trying to mess up their timing. But anything into super kick, into standing 3, into lightning, will come out because the opponent breaks. They can't wake up attack now, which means they can't roll, they can't up 3, they can't use invincibility. And as you can see, we can start to establish a little bit more pressure. So how this works, it is the super kick having that kind of set breakaway timing. Doing it early, like an early 3, you do a medium lightning. If you delay it, if you delay the 3, use it later, you can get a close lightning, which to be honest, I actually think is a little bit better. Because when you have a close lightning like that, the biggest threat you often have is a wake up attack. And they can't wake up attack because they've just used all their meter. This is when you know the opponent's going to break, and you do a close lightning, and you can establish that mix, you know, strike versus throw. Remember that Rain has a crushing blow throw on both directions. If I go easy crushing blows here, easy KB player 1. Let's say I've just gone for a combo, I know he's going to break. Boom, boom, boom. Get my grab, that's a 50-50 either way, and I get a crushing blow. So the biggest application mid-match I've actually already grown to understand is when you know the opponent's going to break you. And a lot of that comes from super kick, because of the super kick timing. You know, if I do super kick amp, he can't break until way, way, way later. I can only give him the opportunity to break earlier if I do an early standing 3, and then he can break. So my whole point here is that if you know the opponent's going to break, which, you know, super kick's a launch, a lot of people will break there, and a lot of people do break there, for me, when I play them. Knowing they're going to break is a really nice application of the lightning, because we can really start to apply pressure afterwards. And the lightning bolt being as plus as it is kind of insane. You know, because you can then go in, you can establish something. If they try and jump in or press, they run a risk of getting hit by it. You can be cute if you really want and go for, you know, the amp, but it's very expensive. But, you know, it does create another situation where if they get hit, you can launch, yada, yada, yada. Another thing you can do with Rain, and this is, you know, it's not a combo video, so I might not get it a few times, but maximizing damage on a mid-screen launcher. So this is not super practical for doing a, you know, point-blank range, because, you know, it's often not going to connect at point blank. But, as you might expect, because of the height, opponent gets hit by the lightning amp, and you do have time to go in there and do a dash and uppercut. And this actually works at multiple ranges, and the reason for it is because Rain's wave dash, you know, if I'm doing his movement, look how quickly this guy moves around. Which means that if we see this land, we can dash in, and we can start to confirm. Obviously, you know, I've been doing a lot of the, what do we call it, the lightning ball, the weather ball combos, which the down 2 is a little bit of a different timing. But look at that. I mean, we get to go in and just go boom, boom. It's really awesome that Rain is able to see a lightning connect, dash in, get a down 2. If you're too close, I think it misses because of the hitbox of this down 2, right? It's a very unusual hitbox. We get that down 2. You can cash out with a back forward 3 if you want, which gives us a very respectable 29%. And if it was other characters, they might actually struggle to confirm from like this range. But because it's Rain, who has an incredible wave dash, he can dash in when he sees it hit and down 2. I've been able to do this in online matches, so if I can do it online, trust me, you can as well. It just takes a bit of practice. If you're like me and you're kind of juggling between the lightning bolt and the weather ball, the down 2 combos, the timings are actually quite different, so they might mess you up. You gotta just get used to doing the down 2 at the right time. And when it comes to confirming off the down 2 in this combo, it actually comes down to using the down 2 a little bit later than you think you need to, because too early and it will just whiff completely. In the corner, you can get kind of easier confirms. I've been able to get the down 2 sometimes, but you do run the risk of, you know, them getting knocked out of the corner, which you kind of don't want. A jump 3 does the job. There might be some other damage that might be more optimal here, but if you're landing this and you see it, it's very easy to see it and just jump in, and then, you know, you can even end it in the string, right? That 2-4-2, jump 3. This is a very easy combo, good damage, whatever the case might be. You see it land, you jump the kick. It's basically as simple as that. I'm going to probably look for more optimals here, but can't go wrong with the jump kick, so keep that in mind. So now we're in the corner. This is a kind of hidden use, and one of the reasons actually when I play Rain, I do like to take the tidal wave, this move, being plus 15 on hit, but it is super minus on block on its own. The amp version is minus 8 with pushback. Now what happens is, if I set him to auto block, in the corner, Rain has a really good stagger game. It is one of his strengths. You know, staggering back 2, and a lot of players do 1, 3, 4 or whatever. A lot of Rain players in general, this entire deal is stagger things, you know, cheeky down 1, whatever it is, back 2, back 1, back 1, 4, you know, back 3, 4. He's got so many buttons that you can kind of stagger and end early that opponents in the corner, they kind of get a little bit messed up by it. Now, when you have the ability to take the tidal wave, and you've got that added layer to it, you know, where they expect you to stagger this, they try and press, boom, that connects, and it's plus 15 on hit. You can go in and press more stuff. They start to respect you a lot, and you will need to condition them. However, he has a lot of range that he can enforce this threat, because he's got the forward 2, which hits at, like, you know, this range. He's got a long-reaching back 3. He's got things like forward 4. He has a lot more range than you might expect, and the second they start to respect this, all it takes is a tiny little bit of time to go boom, right? That's it, lightning. All it takes is that one opportunity for you to go boom, lightning. And that's it. So, they're showing lots of respect that is being amplified because you have this, or other moves. You know, there could be other abilities here that the opponent is looking to wait for their opportunity to press, right? All it takes is a couple of frames for you to get that lightning out, and then you can set up a plus situation. That's just amp, but you can do this. By the way, that's not a bug with the lightning, that's just range. You know, if you're trying to establish an amp in the corner, I actually always suggest you do this version. Because if they do come in, you kind of need it to be a little bit closer to shut it down and to make them sweat. You know, I'm doing this just because it's easy, but you ideally want to do the close lightning. My whole point, though, is that you're sticking out all these buttons. Stagger, stagger. You know, we're doing things like 1, 3. They might wait for this. You know, so you do 1, 3, 4. You create all this distance, and then just one little cheeky boop, and then you can go in, and you can start to reply. You know, if you see it hit, it's a very easy confirm. Lightning, we have time. Go in, establish. The corner pressure is really good with the lightning, but you need to enforce the respect first. And that's why I do like taking Tidal Wave, because it takes his stagger game and makes it even more tricky. A lot of the opponents will start to respect you a lot more because of this. And if they don't, you can just, you know, you just blow them up with the basic stuff. You can just combo them for all you care. You have to overcomplicate and mix things up. If the opponent challenges, you just catch them with a combo or something. It's all good. But if they start to respect you, that's where you can start getting a cheeky lightning strike, and you can start to apply other layers. So, the final thing, which kind of works, you kind of have to dial it in, but you can kind of half react to it, is that your Argus Plunge, if you land it from the fullest of full screen, and you amp, we get a crushing blow. The cool thing is, if we're absolute full screen, and this has hit people, if they get hit by the lightning, you can actually see it, amp it, and it covers enough distance for us to crushing blow, which is quite nice. It's a nice little damage cash out, so definitely not the end of the world with that one, but just a nice little detail to finish with, I suppose. But that's kind of where I'm at the moment. You know, this is not really a tech video as such, or I guess it kind of is, but this is a lot of people asking me what my applications for the Lightning Strike currently are. I'm sure there's even more of it down the line. This is just kind of, you know, a couple of days later, technically probably a day for me because I had Open Series yesterday to commentate, but this is where I'm at, and I really enjoy the Lightning. I think if you want to give it a go, try some of the things that I've covered. Just, you know, catching the breakaways, if you know someone's going to break, using it to establish pressure, getting used to those uppercut confirms, being able to time it so you can get lightnings back to back really quickly by buffering it at just the right time, corner conversions, establishing respect, looking at other abilities that let you kind of maximize the lightning even more, hence why I use a little bit of Tidal Wave in one of my variations just to create that respect so you can create more lightnings, and it's a really fun experience. I know everyone's going in for the Hydro Boost so far. This is the wonder of customs. Everyone can pick stuff that they like. The Lightning Bolt is my favorite move, so guess what? I'm using it. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this has helped out some of you, and just sitting here rambling in training mode for a little bit. It's a bit of a throwback. It's been a while since I've done one of these, so thank you for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Much love and take care.